And we're live. Well, no, we're not actually live. I actually recorded this yesterday so you could hear it today, unless you're playing it on a day that isn't the day it was released, and then who knows when I recorded it to where you're hearing it. But anyways, welcome to Marriage is for Quitters. I am one of your hosts, Lucas Christensen. My wife, unfortunately, will not be joining the podcast today, and we will also not be having some guests. In fact, you might notice something strange about this week's episode. There's no video, and that's because I am currently recording this podcast in a hotel room that I'm staying in while I'm training near Detroit. So I don't know how the quality is going to be. I'm using a headset microphone and recording into my computer, which is the same computer I use anyways. But so the reason we're doing this podcast like this today is because Lindsay unfortunately got pretty sick over the weekend when we normally record our podcast. And we did have a nice podcast plan where we were going to talk about this situation exactly of how I've been staying downstate during the week, hours away from my family and training at a new job while she takes care of, the jobs of two parents at home. And we were going to talk about how we're, kind of making that work for us, which it is very difficult to maintain. But I will say that there is the added benefit of when I do come home, it's very passionate and loving with my family, and all the different family time and date nights with my wife are very exciting. So I hope my wife gets better soon so we can record a new podcast this weekend for you for the upcoming Tuesday. And this podcast right here is just basically going to be a couple minutes just to explain the situation and get you guys hyped. But while I do have you listening, I do want to, of course, talk about Laundry Love. That's the nonprofit that we're actually finally getting in the works of making this an actual nonprofit so we can get grants and larger donations from other people. But if you're unfamiliar with what Laundry Love is, basically once a month for an hour, we go to a local laundromat and we pay for everyone's laundry. For the past year, me and my wife have been covering the entire cost of this event by ourselves, with a few donations here and there from friends and family, and we are so grateful for those donations. It does cost us roughly $400 every time, and it's only going to get bigger. We actually had a news crew come out last week to film the event, and they're going to be playing a segment on our nonprofit today, actually, Tuesday. So we do want to get more people to volunteer, more people to donate to our cause. So if you have the time, go to www.laundrylovebc.com and donate, or send us an email so that we can get you on the schedule to come volunteer for the next event, which is the last Tuesday of every month at Totally Clean Coin Laundry in Bay City. And we're always looking for what our listeners might want to hear us talk about on the show. So far, we've been coming up with all of our subject matter on our own, or with what our guests actually want to talk about. We give them the option to talk about what they know and what they're comfortable with. But we would like to get more people involved in this. So if you got something you'd like us to talk about, please send us an email to marriageisforquitters@gmail.com. And that's not the word for, it's the number 4. So we made that nice and interesting and challenging for you. So it's marriageis4quitters@gmail.com. Until the next time, we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you guys for tuning in.